Hey you guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're going to be diving in how to get better at player-to-player combat. Not necessarily firing cannons in ship combat, but physically shooting your weapons and how to make that easier or how to learn better in Sea of Thieves, including a few methods I did and still do while just sailing around the Sea of Thieves. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So first things first, I feel like the thing all pirates want to learn better is getting a feel for the center of your screen and knowing when you can not scope in all the way but still hit shots sort of like that, where the scope doesn't really come up but you're still able to shoot accurately, and learning how to do that better because it can be really effective in player-to-player combat. And this bell is actually a really good way to learn that. Because in Sea of Thieves, you have a lot of time where you're just sailing around the ocean on your ship and you need to kill time. But this bell is always here on your ship. So it can be really good practice for centering your screen if you're running around and just try scoping in on it and shooting from time to time. And it's nice because you always know if you hit exactly where you meant to, because it will make a ding if you did, like this. So if you haven't been doing so already, when you're sailing around and you have time to kill, just practice jumping and trying to hit the bell in midair without scoping in all the way, and this on its own is going to really help your centering in learning how to aim better. But let's go ahead and dive into the next method, and to do that, we're going to be diving to a sea fort. So I will see you guys once we get there. Now, the reason sea forts are so good for practicing PvP is not just the phantoms that spawn in, but it's actually the layout of the forts themselves. And I'll show you what I mean when we get a bit closer here. So the way that sea forts are laid out, there's a lot of obstacles and different ledges you can jump around on and over, similar to that of a sloop or that of a ship or even a skeleton fort. So it's really good for jumping around and trying to make yourself hard to hit from these ghosts, while still having targets you can shoot at. But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Let's go ahead and talk about loadout quickly before we continue any more PvP tips. So for loadout, I always will recommend going with an Eye of Reach and a flintlock if your sole purpose is getting better at aiming, because both of these guns force you to be incredibly accurate and reward you if you are. Now, a little trick with both these guns is the slowest part about using the Eye of Reach is after you shoot, you have that second before you even start reloading. Let's see it again. See how it stays in the scope and then I start reloading. This is why having two guns is nice, because say I'm out of ammo and I'm shot on my pistol and I switch from my pistol back to my Eye of Reach, I skip that scope animation. So if you're constantly swapping between two guns and shooting, you're missing that animation from both guns by switching to it to reload from another weapon. Another way you can do this is by double pressing your switch weapon button or your stow button. So say I shoot, I double press the switch weapon button to pull the sniper out again, sort of like YY canceling. If you ever played Call of Duty back in the day, you used to double press Y to cancel reload. It's the same thing in Sea of Thieves. You can cancel your reload animation to make it quicker by double pressing your change weapon button. And this is the thing a lot of players do that might seem small, but it saves you maybe half a second every single time you fire your weapon, which can really add up in times of combat. So what you're gonna do to practice is while you're jumping around your boat shooting the bell, every time you hit the bell, every time you shoot, you're gonna double press your switch weapon button and you're gonna pull your sniper out again. You can also do it with the pistol. I screwed it up there. The pistol isn't too slow on the reloading, so you won't notice it as much, but it still saves a sizable amount of time. So let's go ahead and get into this fort. And what you want to focus on while you're doing these forts is moving the entire time. You don't at any point want to stop moving, and you don't want to scope in for more than a second, because in real combat, that will make you just way too easy to hit. If you're standing still scoping and trying to hit another player, that player has a still target to shoot at. You just have to imagine how easy that is to shoot. So your goal is to just run around and go through the waves as fast as possible while trying not to get hit and not stopping the entire time. And the farther away you can take shots, the better. If you can try quick scoping them, practice that. Learn where the center of your screen is. It's really going to help you out in the long run. And even try hip firing with the pistol, because if you guys don't know, the pistol is actually incredible incredibly accurate from hip fire at close to mid ranges. So as you can see from here, we can hit that ghost just with hip firing because I know where the center of my screen is. And then after we hip fire, we can double cancel the reload. But as you can see, we just missed there because it's not 100% accurate. So I'll shoot, cancel, and as you can see, even at that range, it went right where we were looking. And if you were to just start every single day by doing at least 1/4 this way, the improvement you would notice would be incredible. This is how I started getting my PvP better in Sea of Thieves. I was lucky also I came from Valorant, so my aim was already a little bit above average. But Sea of Thieves is a different experience altogether because the bullets have travel time, so it was still a learning curve that I used this specific method to get better at. Now, obviously, there are better ways of practicing actual player-to-player, and one of those ways is actually diving for Hourglass. And what I mean by using Hourglass is, as a solo sloop, not many people dive for solo sloop Hourglass. But one of the reasons people dive for solo sloop Hourglass is actually just looking for player-to-player practice, or they call it TDM, which stands for Team Deathmatch, which obviously stems from Call of Duty, where it's pretty much just respawning kill over and over again. And the reason pirates do this is strictly just practice. There are a sizable amount of people in the game that love practicing TDM, and it doesn't always have to be seen as a negative thing. Now, I don't agree with doing it to pirates that aren't on board with doing it. I think that's a little bit mean. But if both parties are on board with practicing player-to-player combat, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, and you'll often find it in solo sloops. So what you'll do is you'll load into an Hourglass match, and either you can shoot out from your ship or they'll shoot out from their ship, and you just use your speaking trumpet and ask if they would like to TDM. And if you tell them that they can have the win if they TDM for a little bit, I promise you, like 75% of the time, people are just on board for that. Because everyone loves to practice getting better in this game. And if you're giving them a free win on top of it, very rarely are people going to say no to that. And it's honestly something I did a few times on my way to gain my level 100 curse for solo sloop. I had many people ask to TDM, and they did the same thing. They promised me the win if I TDM'd, and I was always on board. So it's definitely something you should try, but if you're just starting out, again, I highly recommend you just do what I've showed you in this video. But as always, boys, that is going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed or it helped you out in any way, let me know with a comment, like, subscribe, or all three down below. I wanted to thank you guys for hitting 400 subscribers. It's absolutely insane that we've gotten to this size already. We'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.